So, people, today I'm going to speak about getting your power back. And because I know a lot of people, especially turning into 2022, a lot of people have been trying to live a life that is not convenient, or they feel they should just fit into what society tells them to do or should be. So I'm going to discuss this in this video today about how you can take your power back. So I'll see you after the credits. So welcome back to Karnak Holistics. My name is Jay, where we learn together and we grow together in the sight of God. So as I said earlier, I'm going to speak about taking your power back. Now, it's been a bit of a tough time for me over the last couple months, especially since so much before Christmas. It was before Christmas. I was in a very angry state. So you may have seen that because I didn't record many videos, and when I did record videos, I made them very, very selective, and I never really spoke about what I was going through. Though, despite I do talk about what I go through, but I wasn't in a state to really talk about things initially about what was going on for me and what had the transformation that's going on. So this is what I'm talking about today. I want to discuss and again, talking to a good friend of mine, Jade, who I spent the evening with yesterday, and it was really good to mull over this perception of people's view about that we should be a certain way because of other people's view, that we should fit into their projection of us. Remember, it's their projection, not your reality. So their projection is their projection of what they feel you should be in their little so-called life. And obviously you live a different life, and in that sense want to be a certain way, but you're worried that it's going to interrupt their flow, or they're going to have an opinion about it. You know what? Fuck them. You know, that's a technical term I will give. Again, when I talk about this and I speak to people and I'm doing coaching, I hear people say, but I don't want to offend somebody. But you're the one that is stuck and not going anywhere. You're the one living a lie. You're the one that's not happy. You're the one that this is your life. This is your bloody life. If one thing I've learned, right, anyone that's watching this video, one thing I've learned is that since I had my stroke over 10 years ago, this is the 11th year, life is too short, right? Life is too short to fit in the little box because of other people, right? So I'm not saying that you should just move from place to place. Give it a try. Try and work through it. If it doesn't work, don't just stay there because you feel you have to stay there because you don't want to offend somebody. Because in reality, what happens is that they do subliminally up here, I think I got the word right, therefore take notice and then shift themselves, and then left you in a lurch, and then you're thinking, what the hell, you know? And that was like with me, is where like my relationship was I wanted to end it 6 months previous, and but no, there's too much at stake here, so I'll give it another try. So I did, and then she ended it 6 months later, though I never discussed it with her. So again, it's about taking your power back. When you take your power back, like with me, when it comes to my work, what I do, I used to be quite selective about who I tell what my job is and what I do, not just my day job, but my private job, obviously what I do at Karnak. But I don't care. I mean, if they don't accept me for who I am, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They're not worth knowing, you know. And I don't go around telling people certain things because I want them to be accepted. Don't get me wrong. For years, a good 30 years of my life, I always, and I can honestly openly say this, I was telling people the stuff they want to hear in order to be accepted. Yeah. I don't mean for my readings. I mean, it's just about my private life. From family members to friends to partners and all this. And And for the fact is that you get fucking screwed over anyway. So you live your better life. And I'm all about you living your better version of your life. Because the minute you live the better version of your life, the stronger you become and the more empowered you get. Jade says to me yesterday, you've taken on this different persona. You've changed a lot. You've come into your masculine energy. And I goes, consider I'm a bloke, right? She said, come to masculine energy. Now, some of us flip between a female energy and a masculine energy. We flip between both of those. And circumstances happen that we have to go through. So, for example, how can I explain this? The masculine would be you take without saying really sexist, taking on a strong, dominant role in a situation, and you're saying, no, this is where the line's gone. You see him in their movies where the dad or the woman goes, nope, I've had enough, we're going home now. This is the end of it. The female energy is like, oh, okay, let's see if we can find a better approach to this. Let's see if we can be, it's a bit more lighter. But in that essence of taking on any form of energy and being in the masculine energy, we need to use that energy, but it can be quite rough and unpredictable. The same with the female energy. So when you own your own power and you're starting to own your own self, the massive part of it is being able to have permission, to give yourself permission. Now, the biggest part of this, giving yourself permission, which Jade and I was discussing, and I was also talking to Jordan about this at the weekend, who is my son, is when you give yourself permission, you have to forgive yourself. Yeah, you may be in a situation where you're the one that's in the wrong, but you still have to forgive yourself for feeling guilty about what you've done. And it doesn't mean that you turn around and you are right. It's not that. You hold this, it's about you letting go of this grudge or this anger that is there for you. So you need to let that go. And if you don't let that go, it would eat at you 24/7. Trust me. It would eat at you 24/7 and you won't find peace. One big thing is where, like, when I was, I don't take on people's energies, which is kind of dark in that sense. And I've turned down a lot of work recently because they for me has not been in alignment with what Karnak is. And another big thing I've done, I've turned around and said, like, I'm going to sort my diet out, which I've done, which is really good. And I've also started training, so I'm training 4 times a week, sometimes 5. And I just started investing in gym equipment here for the house, so I can, instead of going to the gym, I can work here. The other massive thing is I got permission. I gave myself permission to do this. I gave myself permission. It's okay to look after yourself. I know it may sound really stupid and ridiculous, but sometimes we feel like we need to get permission from friends. So what we do, we turn around and go to them, you know what, I've been thinking about buying a home gym. And sometimes your friends will go, or your family members may say to you, what the hell do you want to buy a home gym for? Just join the gym. It's a waste of money because you're only going to do it for a couple weeks and then it's just going to be sitting there taking up room. Just go to the gym. If you're bored, then you won't have to. You can just cancel your membership. But for me, I thought about that and I realized that the amount of money I was spending going to the gym, I realized that I had to get permission from myself to say, no, I'm going to train here, and it has to be the right equipment, which I do. So I cycle as well for my cardio, and I also do weights. So one of the big things for me is maintaining my build, but not bulking up, but bulking up is in to tone up. Someone said toning up, that's what I want to do, and that's my goal. But it's also to be a bit more lean. So when I'm a bit more lean and I'm looking at the reps I do when I'm lifting the weights, I have to make sure that it's pushing me too much, but not too much that I'm bulking up too much. Yeah, because the fat on the body I want to train, I don't want it to turn to muscle. So it's a bit of duality. So and this is what we do in our life. So as I said about, I'm losing weight, so I'm watching what I eat, but yeah, I'm toning the muscle or the stuff. Yeah, the muscle that's there could be surrounded by the fat. So in our life, we turn around and in our life we try to lose the weight by, changing the way we think and feel. That is the food we eat, that's equal to that. And then we try to move forward and bulk up. That would be the gym, the working out. But sometimes you think they shouldn't marry, but they do. Because you can do both at the same time. But you need to be quite aware of how you do it. You have to be really precise that you don't over push yourself too far. So as any gym person knows, who's watching this, and I was talking to this guy in the gym the other day. It was actually in a gym shop, and he goes, "Yeah, you can still tone up and still lose weight, because as long as you are toning, and the reps are there, and your body's just toning, and you're losing the fat, it will naturally go. But if you want to bulk up, then you have to eat the added excess food, because what's going in is also what's going out." And I thought that's really interesting, because when I always thought you had to lose weight, then train. So that's why I never trained for about 4 months, because I didn't want to tone up because of the losing of the weight. So, and even because of that, again, speaking with Jay yesterday, we was discussing about our neediness of relating back to our exes, not just our previous exes, but our exes who we've known before, and the element of saving them, or feeling that we are aligning ourselves with people in order to help them. And that's what we're here for, because we are light workers or whatever, and we're here to help these people to transcend to the next level. Then they get empowered, then they move on. And I said, at the end of the day, who are you doing the work for? Who are you trying to help? Are you trying to help them, or are you trying to help yourself? And there's that ego. And from that element, for me, again, I believe it's perception. Perception, because I could turn and go, when you meet a person that you love or fancy, whatever, and then they have these issues, and you think, oh, well, I've got that, I can help them with it. Is the intention to help them, or is the intention put in places that you're helping them because you know it's going to make you feel good about yourself? It's like giving the person or down and that person a pound. Do you give them a pound because they need it? You give them a pound because you want to feel good about it, or you don't feel guilty about it? My perception, and a lot of people disagree with me, is that I always give, because I believe, talking to spirit, that if a situation or someone presents themselves in need, therefore, and I have it, if I don't have it, if I don't have any change, then I won't give. Obviously, I'd say, look, I don't have any change. So therefore, I'm telling the universe, I'm telling God, I don't have any change. So by and large, God always puts change in my pocket. So, you know what it is. So it could be, I'm at the traffic lights and they go, do you have any change? And I then give them a pound or whatever, a couple quid. And a lot of people going, oh, they're just feeding their drug addicts, their alcoholism, blah, 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 and all this bollocks. You know what? I don't give a rat's ass. If someone presents themselves to me and says, can I have 2 quid or pound because I need to get food, that's the intention I'm giving it for. I'm giving them intention because I want to help them. Now, anybody else who may be working, who may be short of cash, come to me, can I borrow 50p, a pound or whatever to get something? I don't know what they're doing with it. They could be going buying cigarettes, drugs or whatever. You don't know, right? So just because our perception of somebody, all right, we know these people are living on the street. We don't, because they live on the street, they may be looking to try and find somewhere for the night. And this is about perception, giving yourself permission to give what you want. It's giving yourself permission, you yourself, to do things without other people telling you what you're doing is wrong. Because what the hell do they know? So as we grow and we transform, and it comes to the element. It's like it comes to the element that we will find peace in our own giving and our own permission, and it was Les Brown, that a famous motivational speaker. He told me and says, if you fall on your back, if you ever fall down, make sure you land on your back, because if you land on your back, therefore you can get back up again. So when you get knocked down, you know, you can always land on your back and then get back up again. So when you're giving your test, when you're needing permission and you've been knocked over, knocked down, give yourself permission to get back up again, because we don't give ourselves permission. We just turn around and stay in this zone, and we just accept what it is. And as when Jade and I were speaking yesterday, and we were talking about how when we work with people and the work we do, and her journey, because she's going off to live in Peru for a year or so, which she's gonna break my heart, because she's a really, really good friend of mine, and I'm really happy for her, but I'm devastated. But the place she's going is beautiful, and I'm sending blessings out to her. And I said, she goes, I've got to go, and I don't know where it's coming from, but I need to just go. And I'm like, well, yeah, go. You know, at the end of the day, God will provide. God will provide. If you got a burning ambition, God will provide. You know, you will find the money, you will find the space, you will find the place. You've got the place already where to stay. You really have the living expenses. When you get there, you know what's gonna be. The passion she had when she said that, I know that the universe will provide. And I go, you're showing me. She said, they're showing me all this stuff for me to achieve, for me to grow, go to, and I go, it's just, I need to earn this amount of money. But then, right. So I said to her, your view about that bit is wrong. You need to turn around and go, I have that money before I go. And I told her about when I manifest, whenever I come through a bit of hard time financially, what I do, I meditate and I go up to heaven. And like Harry Potter with his vault of money, which his parents kept for him, I go to this. Mine's more like a cave. There's a massive boulder in front of it, and it's like Solomon's cave, Solomon's cave, and King Solomon's cave, or mine, should say. So what God showed me, but when he showed me the cave, King Solomon's mine is a mine, so it's always have a constant abundance. It's natural. So when I go to this cave, and I'm sure I'll go, and I have to physically see the cash or the money in this vault or in this cave, and I know that moving forward, if I need money, I can visualize and go, Bank of Heaven, Metatron, the Chancellor, can you make sure this happens? And then it does. It appears. Money just appears. It flows. And one of the big, massive tasks was I wanted to make a transition, a change with my career. Love the job that I do. I'm an employment specialist. But I wanted to get more clinical with mental health. So I wanted to use a bit of my counselling with what I do, and then move into this field to support these people with mental health, and use my abilities as an empath to help them, like I did when I was a counsellor. So I put out there, when I saw this amazing job, it was just perfect for me, and I was all fired up about it. Told my clinical lead, this is what I'm going for it. She said, so happy for you, you know, you got my support, and so on and so forth. Then I read the job description, and I realised it said you need to have a year's training in this actual job, which is a psychological well-being practitioner, a PWP, with IEPS. And I was devastated, but I did not go, oh, there you go, it's over. I just knew that I'm still going to be on the same band level with the NHS, but I knew that it's just going to be a transition over. And so what I did do, I looked for courses. And then I look for courses that I can do online when I'm still working, because I won't have the time to run Karnak, be at work, and also get to a college. So I run courses. So at lunchtime, I can do my course, bits and pieces of my course, instead of me just watching YouTube. Yeah. And or on the weekend, I could do that and I could work on it. So looked online and I found the course. It was online and it was in my price range. And then alongside it came as a bundle, life coaching level 7. Now I got level 5. So level 7's a bit more advanced. And I just thought, oh my gosh, this is spirit talking. This is God. So this is important, people, because I know this happens to people. And this is where Jade was at. I was going, should I buy it? Should I actually fork out for it? And I'm like, what are you talking about? It's like given to you there, and it's like, press the button, man, go for it. So, and I go, can I afford it? So I looked, and I could. And so I did. And the feeling was so good after. When I got the access codes to the course and all the rest of it, I was just like, amazing. It was amazing. And I started it, and I was doing some work this evening, and it's amazing. It's right up my street. Talks about psychotherapy, talks about counselling, and it's just something I'm really passionate about, something I love. Because many of you know, I'm a trained counsellor, so I want to go back into doing counselling to further my career. So this is a part of that zone. But when I've done this and I'm working, I can therefore stay in a role 2 years. So I do a year studying, go into the role for 2 years, and then I can, within them 2 years, it will financially help me to finish off my master's in counselling. Then I can move on to my next level. Yeah, because I can go off and be clinical lead, or I can go off and be a counsellor or a lead counsellor, because I have the experience. And I'm blessed. And I know there's other routes we can go after the 2 years that I can do, but this isn't the way I want to go. So I just thought, I just bought the course, as I said, and I just said go with it, and I gave myself permission. It was presented to me, and I went and I moved forward, and I haven't looked back since. I know I keep saying it's going to be a struggle, but I don't think it's going to be, because I think I'm really going to enjoy it. And I know it's going to take a year, so if I work all out the timings, it should fall into place. And on the flip side to that, speaking with my events have kicked off, got busier, and it's just amazing. So I'm really blessed. So because I gave myself permission, and when you give yourself permission, people, you give yourself permission to do something, therefore you're opening up the doors. You open up the door, permission door, for things to come flooding through to you. If you don't open up the permission door, nothing's going to come through, because you're afraid of what may come through to you. Like, a lot of people are afraid to be rich, believe it or not, and they spend their last broke ass poor. I'm listening to a very good audiobook by Curtis Jackson, who's 50 Cent. I think it's called Hustle Hard, Hustle Smart. I'm going to do a video on this when I finish listening to it, but it's really, really inspiring, and how he talks about his transition from friendships of the friends he used to walk with to the friends he knows now, and how he became from a hustler on the streets selling drugs to hustler in the corporate world, and being a TV mogul, and how successful he's become twice. But I'll talk about that more when I do a video on it, because I really want to share this. Some of the books I've listened to, like I did with the book I did the other day, but I wanted to talk about this book next, because I want it to be empowered. I told my son Jordan to listen to it, because he's into similar things I am, and my other son Josh, and I said this is talking to you guys, because he talks street. He talks about the street, and so they can identify with the rap industry. Where you get these other, well, I'm going to drop 50 a message, because when you see these other motivational speakers, they talk, don't mean to be bad or saying racist says, not me being racist, to talk from a white point of view, from a corporate white middle class point of view. And that's why I think a lot of black people and some people can't identify with it. But when Curtis Jackson was talking, he's saying the same thing, but he was talking street. He's like Les Brown. Les Brown does the same thing. I think Les Brown was one of the first. And there's also a guy, I can't remember his name, the hip hop preacher he's called. Can't remember his name. But he's another guy you should get. He always wears a baseball cap. Another, he's a black guy, another motivational speaker that talks about the street and talks about hustling to get to the future. And that's one thing I'm looking at, that I've always been a hustler. I've always, no matter what I've done, I hustled with Karnak. I've hustled with my businesses that I've had before. I hustle at work. And, I'm on the point of doing this massive deal at work to get 3 people into work with a company. So it's on a knife edge, but I'm hustling. So yeah, anyway, that's what I'm gonna say. Give yourself permission, people. Give yourself permission to be a better version of you. Don't let these people tell you what to do or try and control your life, because 2022 will be 2023 and you still begin. Maybe, woulda, coulda, shoulda. Do it. Don't procrastinate. Get up on it and advance yourself forward. Again, like, share, and subscribe, and send this out to people who may need the kind of guidance, just to probably trigger them in some way. Maybe it's like I've said that may trigger them. Maybe something that's triggered you. But again, as I said, this is not about ratings. This isn't about YouTube followers. This is about me putting down my testimony. And I've always said that I'm documenting my life and my things for my grandkids who are coming up. So like Jace, when he wants, if I, God forbid, anything happens to me, he's got videos, so much so at the moment, 250 videos about my thoughts and who I am, but I have nothing on my parents. So if I die before he's old enough, at least he can know who and what I'm about. So this is another thing why I'm doing this. Is a massive part. So when my other son has children, they'll be able to see their grandpa and go, oh, that's what grandpa was about. That's what he said. So shout out to you guys. And again, so remember that. I always say when I used to get my children, we're not going out for the day. We're going out to build memories. And I say when I working with my grandson, I always say, when I call him my little legend, because I believe if you empower him with those words, that word legend, it intoxicates him, because that word would, therefore he has to be. So everybody knows now when they talk to me, when his mum talks to me, yeah, your little legends, thieving, your little legends doing this. And it's nice to know that I feel no shame in saying that about my grandson, because he's a little friggin' legend. He is a legend. And already moving things around the house. It's very spiritual. So good luck to my their mother and father. So anyway, blessings, people. Stay safe. Look after yourself. And if you can't, look after yourself and look after others. And above all, God bless and namaste.